What's up, everybody? This is Draconian Combat, episode 70, with Bridges Thompson. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Tomlinson.
Damn, man, I'm so bad with names. Tomlinson.
There we go.
Tomlinson. Okay, I got you now. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Mikey?
I'm doing great, bro. To start it off, let's dig into your background a little bit, bro. Let's see where you trained from, what gym you're training out of, and then also kind of how you got started with the whole mixed martial arts scene. Okay.
So, the gym, I've trained at two different gyms. So I do
Okay.
my grappling up in North Little Rock, Arkansas at Hoka Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a fantastic place for jiu-jitsu. They do have some striking with some Muay Thai kickboxing, but I also train my striking at Off the Chain and Hot Springs. So I train a little bit around, and then I always cross train as much as I can in gyms that are close by. But those would be my two main places.
Okay. And see, like I assume you trained that off the chain because I just seen you affiliated with them so many times. Actually, I think I seen the first time I think I seen you was in Oklahoma. And you were out there fighting on a card. I can't remember which card it was exactly. But that's the first time I had seen you. And yeah, I had assumed that you trained at off the chain. So you train at a different gym and you cross train with off the chain.
So I do my striking with Off the Chain. So my schedule looks like Monday, Wednesday, Friday is I'm with my grappling team up in North Little Rock, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm doing striking with Off the Chain.
Okay. Let's touch on your background. I'm a little bit nosy when it comes to the fighters, so I know that you have a wrestling background. So I want to know how you got involved in martial arts, how you got started. I think wrestling was your base. I'm gonna assume it was your base because wrestling was my base as well. I probably wasn't as good as you, but let's start off with that question. How did you get started? How was wrestling involved, and then when was the point where you decided you want to make that transition to mixed martial arts?
So my ninth grade year, freshman year of high school, I moved from Shreveport, Louisiana. You may know where that is.
Yeah, I
It's
know that is.
northwest Louisiana. I moved all the way up to Hot Springs, Arkansas, so 4 hours away from my hometown. Didn't really have any friends. I had a couple buddies who I met within like the first month of school, and they were like, "Hey, you should come wrestle." I was like, I don't know about all that." And then I went, and I was like, "Okay, you know what? This is cool." So I stuck with that for about a year, and then my sophomore year, I really like started diving deep into it, getting competitive, and I started doing jujitsu and kickboxing after my wrestling practice.
Okay.
So I've been around a lot of different martial arts and stuff like that, but wrestling is where it started. So I wrestled 4 years in high school, went to state twice, and ended up getting beat in the semifinals by two different four-time state champions. So it just luck of the draw of the bracket. So that's always fun. I always think back on those good old days because wrestling is nowhere near. It's hard. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as mentally taxing as an MMA fight.
I can agree with that. See, I wrestled all 4 years in high school. I wasn't as good as you. I think I plateaued at CAF because I wasn't the best wrestler, but there was a bunch of discipline and things I learned from wrestling, which carried on after high school into my MMA career and things like that. I mean, I remember wrestling practices were very hard, like especially for high school. Like
Oh,
they were trying to break us in high school, and so there's things I take from wrestling all 4 years that I translate to when I was competing. You, as far as making that transition, what am I trying to say? as far as making that transition, when do you think was wrestling like your passion at first? Like, did you find that first passion for MMA to make that actual transition? Because I know you said you did a little bit of jujitsu and a little bit of this and that. When was it exactly where you made that transition to MMA, where you're like, this is what I want to do. I want to combine everything, and I really want to go for it.
Probably my junior, senior year of high school, I was like, now it was been a couple years before my first MMA fight, but I knew that was the path that I was on.
Okay.
And that's where I wanted to be, was in the cage. My coach at the time, he was like, wait till you get your blue belt. Wait till you get your blue belt. I was like, all right, fair enough. And then I got my blue belt a month before my first MMA fight. So I would say that's always been the goal, because, like, especially after my junior year when I lost at state again to another four-timer, I was like, man, I didn't grow up doing this. I'm competing against guys who've been wrestling 14, 15 years of their 17-year-old life. I'm like, I kind of just didn't really care for it after my junior year. So, but the base was there and the foundation was there. Like you were saying, there's a lot of stuff that you take from your high school wrestling, and it carries over into MMA. The grit, and like my high school wrestling room, they were definitely trying to break us too. So I understand that statement. And then there's not a lot of sports that you get the first hand at cutting weight like you do in high school wrestling, because you got to weigh
Yes.
in like 2-3 times a week. So it's a
Let
little bit nicer to have those bigger breaks in between weigh-ins for MMA.
let's talk about that a little bit because like I'm not gonna lie, like when I cut weight for fights, like I'm not the most disciplined fighter. I get motivated and I want to fight and I hop into it. But because of my discipline in wrestling in high school, I understand what it takes to, cut weight and stuff like that. In high school, the only difference is I remember like during wrestling season, not only did we like there was a time not only did we have regular matches like against other schools, but then we had tournaments. So we're competing 3 times in a week, which means we have to make weight 3 times in a week. So, as a fellow wrestler, how do you contribute that to your career in MMA? It was obviously a lot more stricter in high school. I feel like because I wrestled at 145 in high school, and I walked around I think off season around like 180, 185. So during wrestling season, I was very disciplined with keeping my weight down. But it was really hard though because we had some hard ass practices, and you're when you have to make weight, and we had tournaments on Saturday, and then Sunday we still had to make weight again. I never understood that. We still had to make weight again on Sunday if we made it to the later rounds. How do you contribute what you learned from wrestling in high school as far as carrying that over? Because I notice your style. You have a very heavy grappling based style. I respect that because I'm not the best grappler myself. So how did you contribute taking that from high school? And then, you obviously, your last fight, you got the championship belt. So there's a lot of discipline. I feel like with high school wrestling, especially if you did all 4 years, where you can take very far in your career or just later in life. So I guess my question is how did you take that and then transition it to MMA?
So
It's a long
there's
ass question. My bad. I like to
no, you're
rant.
good. So there's a lot that goes into high school wrestling that you can attribute to just life in general.
Right.
Like, there's so many ups and downs through life and through your high school wrestling career. Sometimes you got to go run a mile before you wrestle a tournament, and that's just part of making weight. But there's other times where you had an easy matchup and it's done and over in 30 seconds. So the fight game's very similar but very different at the same time.
Right. I get you. During your fight camps, I think everybody's different. What would you say that, during your fight camp is the hardest part? And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. I know everybody's strategic; they want to keep it to themselves. But what would you say is the hardest part during your fight camp? That not necessarily struggle with, but just mentally, it just drains you.
Man, it's the weight cut. Like I honestly think that like,
I think
and
that's universal.
yeah, I don't think I'm alone in that statement. It,
Okay.
other than the weight cut, everything everything goes smoothly. I know going into a fight camp. Now, most of this has to attribute to my high school wrestling background. There's nothing I haven't been through. It's just another day in the office. Go enjoy it. Go have fun. And I say that, and it kind of, oh, he's not really working hard. No, the guys I train with, we're we're always working super hard.
Right. I think that's a mindset thing because for me, I think every fight is different. For me, I don't enjoy it, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't enjoy it at all because I push myself that hard. And but you have other fighters like yourself, and that just they enjoy the grind, they enjoy the process, they enjoy the struggle. Um, yeah, me myself, I've never really been good at that. I just been very good at pushing through it, and I think that's probably why I'm not competing today because it's hard for me to keep. It's hard to keep that drive going, and this leads to my next question actually. What drives you? So on those days you're training for your next fight, your next big fight, and I'm talking about not just the first week or the second week. I'm talking about your 4 to 5 weeks out. Your diet's clean. You're burning more calories than you're intaking. What drives you to keep pushing? Um, you know, to train and then prepare yourself for that fight.
I just always tell myself that my opponent's working harder than I am, so I got to work hard.
Okay.
And especially with this last fight, it being in my backyard, literally, like
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes from my house. You got me confused with somebody if you don't think I'm gonna go out there and put on a show. So,
Yeah, for sure.
but at the end of the day, I really do enjoy it. It's fun, but nobody likes to lose. So I'm always telling myself, "Oh, I don't feel like going today." Well, your opponent's already had 2 workouts in. Even if that's not the case,
Yeah.
I kind of psych myself out with it, and
No, I think
that's
I can agree
motivating.
with you. Because for myself, I think I do the same thing. And I think that's part of the reason why I keep drilling is even though I hate what I'm doing, I'm tired. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, what is my opponent doing? Is he running right now while I'm laying in my bed at 10:30 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Is he out there training? And those are the things I feel like I get fixated on. And you know, with every great fighter, I feel like obsession is good when it's controlled. So with every
Absolutely.
great with every great fighter, there's a healthy obsession with competing and training, and it's very important to tap into those things. I feel like I do with myself because there's some nights where like I don't want to train, bro, but then I'm thinking like, man, what if my opponent's like grinding right now? Like I can't, I gotta make sure that I show up for fight night. Um, Yeah, I don't know what my point is. I like to go on rants. But for me myself, it's hard for me to stay focused. So I like to look at my opponent to see how hard they're training, and then yeah, I mean for myself that really drives me. I don't fight for my family. I don't fight for nothing like that. I don't feel fight because I'm poor or nothing like that. So there's little things I gotta tap into during fight camp. And when I'm talking about like your bad days because not every day is a good day in fight camp. You have your
Absolutely.
bad you have your bad days, right? You have days where you don't feel like doing this shit. bro. But you know you got a fight coming up, so you committed to it, so you better show up. So there's little things in the back of my head where we're like, damn, bro, like I gotta push through this. So I know I understand you 100% when it comes to that. Um, what are your thoughts on that, actually? Because
So
you know, not every fight camp's perfect. You know.
absolutely. Uh, we'll get on that probably later. Remind me of issues during fight camp when we for the next topic or something. I'll tell you a
Mhm.
story. But also, I got some great teammates down here all around me. That's always, even on the bad days, they're pushing me to get better. So a big part of it is finding the right team and getting the right folks around you that's gonna build you up. Because there's a lot of people who just hate, for lack of a better word or term, that just they don't care whether you come to the gym or not. I've been at
Yeah.
places, I've been at gyms like that, and or you're just the punching bag, and they get excited when you walk in because they just know they're going to beat you up. I don't got a team like that. I got a team that's always motivating me, always building me up, showing me stuff, and we're all getting better together.
No, that's the perfect gym. And just to touch on myself personally, like I've never had a gym. I'm gonna be honest. Like I've had gyms, but I've been like the type of fighter where I just hop in and spar a whole lot, and that's how I got
Yeah.
better. And now that I gotten older, I feel like I would like to go back and redo things. But I feel like it did make me the fighter that I am today. Even if I'm not the greatest fighter, it made me the person I am today. But yeah, there's definitely a healthy gym setting. Um, I've dealt, and most of it's my fault because I've dealt with a lot of hostility in gyms where they can't wait for me to show up to fuck me up. But I want to say, you know, because I was living in California and then I moved to Arkansas. About a year before I moved to Arkansas, I started training at Team Body Shop, and they were very the vibe was different, bro. Like the vibe was different. Um, Antonio McKee, like he was very hard on everybody, but he was also very loving, and then he was also very like after every practice, no matter what, everybody came together, everybody prayed and stuff like that. So for me, that was the type of gym I should have been in the beginning.
Absolutely.
But yeah, because I feel like and that's not saying that every gym I went to was bad, but there's a lot of hostility in gyms, man. There's a lot of meatheads in gyms, and
A lot
especially
of
when you're coming up and you're young and you're angry and you're hungry, it's like you got to find the right gym. For me, Team Body Shop was the perfect gym, but I just found it a little bit too late before I moved out here to Arkansas. Um, I'm gonna switch topics now. I want to ask you a different question.
Right?
So, as far as your fighting style, I know you're very heavy in grappling. Who would you say that inspires you, but also like you look at their style and like, okay, what can I take from his style and incorporate into myself? What can I take from this dude and put into myself? Who motivates you? Who do you steal from? I steal from fighters too.
Oh
That's
yes,
what I do.
I think we all do. And if you say you don't, you're lying.
No, yes, that's facts.
If you say, "Oh, this is all original," you're lying.
No, that's facts. I was stealing like a mother.
So
And early
I'll
in my
give you
career, like I was stealing from everybody. But I
definitely.
want to know who you look up to, who you take from, and then what you incorporate into your own style.
So I got four of them for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Five. I'll give you five of them. All right.
All right, give me
So
five.
Cody Garbrandt,
Okay,
Demetrius
okay,
Johnson,
okay,
T.J. Dillashaw,
okay.
Conor McGregor, and
Mm-hmm.
Khabib.
Okay. All right. That's a good. You know what? Because you're 125. That's like that's a good side of the list for 125.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good solid list, especially Habib, because Habib was naturally a heavy lightweight, but
Oh
the
yeah,
one
he
thing I
walked
liked
around
about
with.
Habib, say again.
So his just wrestling and his control and his pace
Yes.
is a big thing for me. Like I'll be honest, I wasn't the best wrestler in high school, but I
Mhm.
won a lot of matches off of just outworking people, having better cardio,
Right.
and just not quitting. And that's a good trait to take to the MMA scene is just keep working because you never know. Like, dude might turn to his belly in the fourth, fifth round, give you his neck, and then it's a wrap from there. So, but if you quit in round two, you won't ever see that opportunity later.
Right. Now, see, the thing I like about Habib, and the thing I love about Habib is with his style, he was very, grappling heavy, but he was very active. Like he wasn't stalling.
Yeah,
He was either looking for a submission or hitting you, whether it was in the body, the shoulder, the head, the
mixing it up.
leg. He made sure he stayed busy on top to open up either submissions or just to beat the fuck out of you
Yep.
and just break you. And for myself, like kind of going off topic right now, but from my own experience, like my first loss was against a judo fighter, and he couldn't really stand with me. But when he had me on the ground and he was on top of me, those were probably some of the worst punches I felt because let me tell you why. You know, he would hit me, and not only would I feel it from right here, but I would feel it from the back of my head when it hit the canvas. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a very even though Habib's like a grappling base, fighter, he kind of has an evil style, and he stays busy and he stays beating the shit out of whoever he's fighting. So there's no mistake after the fight. You know what I mean? Well, did he win? Did he just stall? No, he beat the fuck out of him
Yeah.
for 5 rounds straight, 3 rounds straight. Even though he was on top, he didn't finish him. He was beating the fuck out of him. The dude wanted to quit. So that's always one thing I respected out of Habib.
Yeah, he always stays busy on top. Just a meat grinder, to say the least.
What are your thoughts on Islam? Because I feel like Islam is he's not quite Habib. He's not as aggressive, but he's like I feel like he might be like Habib 2.0. You don't gotta be
I
that aggressive. You know what I mean?
No, you definitely don't have to be that aggressive. But I feel like his stand up and his striking is a lot
A
better
little
than
bit
what we saw from Khabib.
yeah, I'll give you that. No,
Like,
I'll give you that. Yeah, Habib was. I just hate that he. I understand because his dad passed away, but I just hate that he had to leave the sport so soon because I wanted to see more out of him. But
oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he went there, did his job, and submitted his legacy. I mean, you can't be mad at him for the reasons that he stepped away.
oh, I'm not mad at him at all.
Not you, but like you in general, like
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not mad at him at all. I just it's like one of those damn man. Like I feel like he was in the prime of his career when when he left. But I also understand too because his dad passed away, and very he's very in touch with training his fighters as far as Islam and whoever else is competing in the UFC or in the B leagues and stuff like that. He's kind of carrying the torch for his father, so I can't be mad at him. Um, but damn, yeah, that's another dude. Like, what if? I would love to see him fight. What are your thoughts on Islam versus Charles?
Islam versus Charles,
Or not Charles? Not Islam versus Charles. Islam versus
JDM.
JDM. Yes, my bad.
Oh man, I think Islam takes it, but
I think so too.
JDM's no pushover.
Yeah,
He's still
JDM's
got
no pushover, but I
wait.
think Islam's gonna get
I
it.
think Islam's gonna get it done.
That's gonna be a good ass fight, bro. Like, yeah, that's gonna
And
be a good fight.
then you got Ilya Topuria versus
Charles.
Charles. Yeah.
See, who do you got for that? Because my thing with not Islam, Ilya Taporia. I feel like he left the division a little bit too early. I believe he would have done the same thing, but I just believe that he didn't put the stamp on it yet.
I mean, from what he's put out, he walks at 190,
Yeah, I seen it.
closer to 200, and that cut to 45 is not pleasant. I don't imagine. So give him a little bit of extra weight. He'll put on more power. Like, I don't know, man. That's a weird line. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Charles is a dog. He's in the top 5 for a reason. So
No, you're right. Man, I talked to my co-host Harry about this a lot. I feel like the lightweight division needs something new. And Ilya Taporia is that. The reason I say that is I feel like for the last 3 to 4 years we've been seeing the same fighters fight each other for the top position, and not that they're not good, they are very good. They're very good, but
oh yeah, it's very
it's the same
entertaining.
fighters over and over again because nobody else can compete with them. So I'm all for it because I like Ilya. I think he left the division a little too soon, but I think he brings a lot of excitement and something new to the division because right now we're seeing the same fights. I think Dustin's about to retire. Islam's moving from the division, so it's a fresh start. Um,
Yes.
what's your opinion on that right now on the
Oh
lightweight division?
man, I feel like if Ilya can prevent Charles's takedown, or not even really the takedown, but just submission game,
Hmm.
then he'll be all right. I think Ilya will take it. And then you got who else is in the lightweight? I think
Well,
man,
she
uh,
you got Gaethje,
Gaethje, Patty,
Islam left.
like is
You got
Patty
Max Holloway now.
Max Holloway? Oh man, I I I think Ilya beats all those guys,
I think
honestly.
so too.
And it sucks to say because like those guys are dogs. Like
Yeah.
Max is one of my favorite fighters, especially after the Gaethje fight. Like dude called his shot, and it was crazy. Up 4 rounds to none, and then wants to stand with one of the hardest hitting guys in the division.
Did
And
you
then
watch that fight live?
I did.
Man, I watched that fight live with my dad, and it was just me and my dad. But like, man, we went crazy. That
I
was
feel like
like one. If you
everybody
had to
went.
witness something in MMA history, you had to witness. You had to witness that in real time. It was just great. Like that was
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
because he
That
was
was
winning that whole fight. He didn't have to do that.
no. He could have just backed
Yeah,
away, circled,
yeah. He could have
and been
been
all
Mayweather
right.
and just be like, like. But he said, "Nah, fuck it. We're gonna stand right here and throw it down." So
I'll give you a
that was a
chance.
crazy shit to witness.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, that was wild. I was glad I was able to see it, and yeah, like you had to be there for that because that's one of those things where you can see on highlights and the feeling's not the same. So
Mm-mm.
to experience it in real time, like that was a great moment, and I think it was UFC 300, if I'm not mistaken.
It was around there. Yeah, I can't put a
Yeah.
exact pay per view number on it either.
So it was a great moment. I want to ask you about your as a mixed martial artist, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And is there an end goal, or are you just doing this for just the sport?
So I mean, I I love it for right now. The
Okay.
end goal would be UFC, get in there, win a world title, but I'm gonna do it until I don't love it anymore. And if I don't have both feet in it, then that's a quick way to get yourself hurt. And
Yeah, I respect that.
right now, I got both feet in, and I'm loving it and enjoying it. So I'm just gonna take it as far as I can.
No, I respect that, bro. Because with me and myself, like when I was, because I'm 30 years old, bro. So when I was younger, I was very disciplined. I was very into the sport. But like as I get older, I'm like, man, these new dudes, they get down. They be training
Oh
hard.
yeah.
So I gotta make sure I'm training hard before I accept the fight. This ain't no I get motivated because I see a fight, and next thing you know, like, oh yeah, give me a fight, and I want to train. And no, it ain't like that. You better be training your ass off for like at least a year straight. Like these dudes are training hard nowadays. It's a whole different
So
generation.
so I train year round.
Say
Doesn't
again?
matter. I train year round. Doesn't matter
Okay,
if I got a fight in two
that's the way to
months.
do it.
I'm just always in the gym because I enjoy it.
Right.
It especially with jujitsu, like you can't worry about what's going on at work, what's going on at home,
Hmm.
what so and so did when some guy's on top of you trying to choke you out or break your arm. You're just
Right.
in there training. So and that's really why I do it a lot is it's kind of like a peaceful chaos, if that makes sense.
No, I understand. Yeah, there's definitely at least for myself, because for me, I don't know about everybody else, but leading up to the fight, I hate training. I hate training. I do it because it's necessary, but I hate training. I hate all the scenarios that pop up in my head um, of how I can lose, and it's every single scenario I can pop up in my head. It's just the whole process before the fight. But I would say like the week of the fight, I'm very calm. The day of weigh-ins, I'm very calm, and then the day of the fight, I'm very calm. And there's definitely a feeling when you do win the day of the fight. You just feel on top of the world. You feel very good, and it's a natural high. Like there's no you're not smoking weed, you're not drinking. It's a natural high you feel for at least a few days, bro.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's just natural. And I'm gonna transition this to my next question because I know your last fight you won the championship belt.
I did.
What can we expect from you going forward? Do you have a fight lined up?
I,
Um,
I have a date.
you have a date.
Not really a fight or anything set in stone, but in September,
Okay.
the RDC 21
Okay.
is where I'm looking to get back in there. Now they might have one sooner, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be June 7th for RDC 20, which I'm going to sit that one out,
Yeah.
kind of rest and recover, and then right back in there to whoever the promoter wants me to fight, whether it's the kid I just fought, Seth Case, or if it's Demetrius Johnson. I don't care. Like let's get in there. I'm there to have fun, there to do a job, and at the end of the day, each fight is one fight less. So the end goal, like it's just getting better.
Right. Man, that's and to be honest, I feel like everybody's different. But for you to take a break to September, I think that's very good. Um, you allow yourself to recover because your body needs to recover, but you also let yourself recover mentally too. Um, it's
Absolutely.
fight camp is very draining. You have to stay locked in. You have to stay disciplined, dedicated, and stuff like that. So I think September is a good a good day for you to come back, and you're not jumping right back into it. A lot of people like, all right, I'm gonna fight 2 weeks from now. I'm gonna fight 3 weeks from now, and you can
It,
do that if you can do it. But I feel like September is a good next fight, bro. That gives you enough time to lock in, reset, recover your body because I don't care. I come prone to injuries when I fight. Um, I may not show it, but like my last fight, like my foot was hurt. I think I fractured had a hairline fracture on my foot. But it
yeah,
took like 2 months to heal, bro. Like, that shit sucked.
yeah.
So
So my first fight, um, back in 2022, I believe, with
Mhm.
Hunter Boleyn, I broke my toe like two,
I've
three
done that
weeks
too. Yeah.
out. That sucked. I got it. You know those mats, the zebra mats that they kind of separate sometimes.
Hmm. You got
I
it
got
caught
my
in between.
got caught in between. I didn't
Oh.
realize it. I just snapped it. I was like, oh man. And I went home. I was like, I think my toes broke. Took my
Yeah.
sock off and it was just black and purple. I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. Ended up fighting through it. It was fine. And then Isaac Alvarez, right?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast a couple times. This last fight camp a week before, we were doing some sparring, last hard sparring round, which isn't supposed to be super hard, but you get two guys in there who are both fighting for a title in a week. We're gonna go hard regardless. He
Right.
ended up catching me with a lead leg switch kick straight to my ribs and dislocated my bottom rib.
Oh shit.
So
Dislocated.
yeah, it's like it still hurts now.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. Like I had my ribs bruised before, but dislocation is crazy. That's
So
crazy.
like doing like this kind of still hurts, and that was 4 weeks ago at this point.
Hmm.
Like, and it was weird because like I got kicked, and then it was my round off, so I walked away and did like that, and I could feel it pop back into place. But I talked with the guys. I was like, hey, should I fight? And he was like, yeah, fight. I was like, I thought it was broken at first. And I was like, what's he gonna do? Break my rib that's already broken? Like, let's go.
Right.
So
Now,
me being naive, and kind of like prideful, I'm like, oh well, the damage is already done. It can't get worse. When I know it can, but I had to tell myself it couldn't get worse. And I mean, I ended up getting away with it, so it's all good.
yeah, the ribs is a hard injury. Like I've had my ribs bruised, and bro, I became the biggest baby. So I can't imagine breaking a rib because it's gonna be 10 times even worse. Like I have my ribs bruised, and it hurt to laugh. It hurt to sneeze. So I can't imagine breaking or dislocating one. So that's a different type of tolerance that I haven't experienced, myself. Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. I didn't know you. So you went through that before your last fight.
Yeah, a week before weigh-ins. So it was
Oh.
the Friday before weigh-ins.
Now, this isn't part of my questions, but in yourself, as far as you personally, why wouldn't you just reschedule the fight? You agreed just to take it no matter what. What if
It was I told Dewan, the promoter, man, get me a fight on this card. It's in my backyard, 5 minutes from my house, and like basically begged him to get me on this card. So I wasn't about to put him in a hole. And like, yeah, I could have rescheduled, but it wouldn't have been that event. It was just a historic night, man.
you a dog?
And
You a dog?
I didn't want to miss that card. I wanted on that card regardless.
Now
So
you a dog. I respect that for sure. Yeah, I can't promise that I would do that for myself. But
it,
I definitely respect it because it takes a lot of guts going into a fight, especially like a rib injury. Like I've gone into fights with like a foot injury. Maybe my wrist was messed up or something like that. But that I can deal with. But a rib
yeah,
injury, I can definitely respect that. Yeah, that takes some balls to do because you never know who you're fighting until you get in there and actually fight them on the fight
yeah.
night.
So here's the icing on the cake, man. Is the first like 10, 15 seconds in round one. You can see him throw a kick, hits me
Hmm.
dead on the ribs, catches me right there. And then it all kind of went numb, which was weird. I guess it was adrenaline or shock. I don't know
Yeah,
what it was.
you locked in.
But once I was like, I remember getting hit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my ribs. He just hit me in the ribs. Wait, I'm not in pain. We're good. So, and
Right.
it was like, all right, locked in. We're good. So that was a roller coaster of emotions. It was a 5 round just slugfest, absolute just takedown clinic, and like I don't know if you went back and watched it because I know it started
I
cutting
watched the
out
fight.
around like 4 or 5 for you. So it was a good fight. I liked it.
No, it was a good fight. It was I feel like you implied your style appropriately. And yeah, you got the victory. Me myself, I'm a striker, so fighting someone like you is like damn. I hope I knock this motherfucker out because I don't want to be. I don't want to top me no fucking 3 rounds straight. That shit's tiring as hell. You know what I mean? I
Oh
might
yeah,
not get knocked out, but damn, it's gonna be tiring between rounds and stuff like that. So, someone
like
like me, like I'm looking to put hands on you. So, I have a lot of respect for as far as the sport of mixed martial arts, people who have adapted their style as far as grappling and are able to incorporate it into fighting somebody. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of energy. Definitely takes a lot of energy to grapple somebody compared to punching. Because
oh
I
yeah,
can punch you all night, and they can be like 20, 30%, 40%, and then all of a sudden, bam, 100%. And then I did 20, 30, 40, 50, 30, 40, bam, 100%. Grappling, I feel like you have to stay. There's a lot more energy you have to exert, and it's very tiring. So I always respect it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to fight nobody that's a grappler. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to strike.
yeah. I
But I
mean,
always respect it because it is MMA at the end of the day, and everybody has to adapt to different styles.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're right. It does take a lot more energy, and you can't like shoot in on a shot and be like, oh well, this is 50% lift. Like, no, you got to get that guy up, and you got to get him down. If you hold on to a single leg, then you're just getting punched in the face or getting sprawled on top of, and there's no hesitation to it. You got to do it quick.
Right,
And
right, right. No, you're right. You're correct.
that comes down to my style and my conditioning. Is I know I'm gonna go in there and try to grapple, so I better be ready to grapple for so a title fight, 15 minutes, 5 rounds of 3 minutes apiece. I mean, I can grapple for 25 minutes straight if I needed to. Like,
Right.
get it once you get that conditioning and get it built up, then it's less of an issue than like if you've never grappled or don't really have that conditioning there, than trying to learn how to grapple in the middle of the fight. That's a bad spot to be in.
Now, speaking of grapplers, O'Malley versus Marab, who you got for the rematch, bro?
Man, as much as I love Sean O'Malley, his striking slick, he's a very high energy guy. I think Marab takes it again. I,
I'm
I
not gonna lie. I think Marab is gonna finish him better than he did in the first fight.
I think he's going to make the micro adjustments that he needs to, and it's going to go a lot worse for him.
I think so.
Uh, yeah, I agree with you,
I think so. And I like O'Malley, man. I really do like O'Malley, but
and I hope
it's
I'm
just
wrong.
you said what?
But I said I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it as the case.
No,
Like
I don't either.
my heart wants Sean to win. My mind tells me Marab's going to win. So
And I think O'Malley is a great fighter. I think he's improved a lot since this last Marab fight. But I think Marab is just a different dude, man. I think he's it for this division at this moment. You know, he's the next one carrying the torch. I feel like right now, and
oh yeah,
even with his cardio, like that dude is nonstop.
yep.
Like how do you as me like someone that doesn't like to fight a grappler? How do I deal with somebody who's willing to shoot over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, to the
I mean,
point where he got to the point where his striking's get good enough to make me question. So maybe we're getting comfortable striking, blah blah blah, we're striking. Bam, he goes for a takedown. He catches me hard. You know what I mean? He's very his gas tank is crazy. His gas tank is crazy. I just feel like at this time, at this moment right now, he is the division's champion. But I love O'Malley though. I love O'Malley too and everything he's done. But I feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel like he's gonna go out there and just dominate O'Malley in this rematch.
oh yeah. I mean, I model a lot of my game after Murad too. That constant takedown, threatening it. Now I'm nowhere near his level of striking and grappling, but I mean, one day I'll probably get there. Hopefully, if I keep
You'll
my
get
keep my head on straight and keep grinding, I don't see why I can't.
there. All right,
But
you'll get there.
you got to
It's
develop.
definitely just dedication, bro.
You got to develop a
Dedication,
good
repetition.
guard.
Dedication, repetition, repetition.
Yeah.
Because that's all these fools are doing, to be honest.
Hmm.
Not everybody is the John Jones, or not everybody is Anderson Silva. But sometimes
Absolutely.
sometimes motherfuckers just work really hard.
Yep.
And
And
yeah, sometimes motherfuckers work hard, and their hard work overshadows a lot of talent. So it's definitely possible if you put your mind to it.
I mean, they always say hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So
No, it's actually facts. Unless you're John Jones,
he's the
then
exception.
you can
So
go and do coke and do what you want.
so what's your take on John Jones versus Aspinall? You think it's gonna happen?
I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think it might happen. I think Jones is trolling. Um,
I think he's
I think
done.
Jones is gonna get the money he's asking for, and I don't know what's gonna happen in the fight. I feel like John Jones is such a smart fighter where he's not gonna get caught up in any type of striking. If you're talking about a boxing match with Tom Aspinall, fuck that. John Jones is gonna strike to get his takedowns. The question is Tom Aspinall going to be able to stuff John Jones takedowns? Going to be able to reverse John Jones takedowns and stuff like that? Because I think Tom Aspinall could knock John Jones out for sure. But the question is like, can he do it? And with all of John Jones' fights, whether you like him or not, I'll give you, for example, Dominic Reyes.
Yep.
People say that John Jones lost that fight. I think that fight was very close, and I remember watching that fight live, and I remember thinking like, dude, this dude needs to get a takedown or something. Like he has to solidify points right now because it's very close, and that's exactly what he did. So even though it wasn't like visually him beating the fuck out of Tom Aspinall, I mean of Dominic Reyes, it's like he got that takedown in the later rounds, and he kind of solidified it by points. I
Yeah.
feel like that's how a Tom Aspinall fight is going to go. He's not going to go head to head. He's not going to go toe to toe. He's going to fight it very strategic, and he's going to win by points. That's how I feel like he would fight against Tom Aspinall, unless he wins by submission. And that's how I feel like that fight will go. Um, if it doesn't go that way, then Tom Aspinall knocks him out. That's how it goes.
Whew. Don't get on Twitter the next day.
What are
Blown
your
up.
thoughts, though? What you brought it up, so what are your thoughts?
Man, if it does happen, and like you're saying, and that's the way it's got to be at the world class level. You can't just, especially top five, you got to play it as a chess match, man. I mean, obviously anybody can be knocked out or submitted,
Right.
but you got to make. There's judges in the game for a reason. You got to play them, get your points. You
Yeah,
know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah, for
So
sure. It's everybody wants to see finishes in MMA, but at the end of the day, it is a point system. So that's how I see that fight going. Will it happen? Man, I don't know. I feel like it will happen, but John Jones wants his money, and they might
we
give
all know.
John They might give John 70 million to fight Aspinall.
Shoot.
I don't know
Hopefully.
how it's gonna go, but I feel like it's gonna happen. I feel like it's gonna happen. It might be a long time, but
Whatever happens, I just hope it happens.
right. And as we conclude this podcast, there's two questions. The first one is when we bring people on here, we want to know their Mount Rushmore. So if you can put 4 fighters on your Mount Rushmore, who would they be?
Demetrius Johnson.
Okay.
Conor McGregor before the Khabib fight.
Okay.
Like Jose Aldo era, Conor McGregor. That's what I'm talking about. After that, he kind of fell off, lost his mind. But those two, TJ Dillashaw.
Okay, TJ. You like a lot of the 135 old school dudes, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, I watched a lot of their film, and I've adopted a lot of it, a lot of their entries into stuff. So, and it's more realistic. It's like
It is.
I can't see myself just Rampage Jackson powerbombing somebody. I mean, it could happen, but I mean, it's not. I don't see it realistically. Me doing it.
Right.
I'm not saying it can't happen or that I won't attempt it one day. Because if I get there, I'm definitely gonna try it.
Right.
Hopefully, I don't get there. Because if I get there, I'm in danger. But
my favorite, my favorite, I think 135 athlete is gonna be a Demetrius Johnson, just because I feel like he wasn't really appreciated at the time. He got traded for fucking what's the dude that got knocked out by Masvidal?
I think Ben Askren.
Yeah, he got traded for Ben Askren. Ain't that some shit? But you know what? I can't even be mad because he did so good in the one championship.
Oh yeah, dude, he went over there and I mean he solidified his career, man. So
really
those
did.
3, and then I got one more. Patty Pimblett.
Patty Pimblett.
Patty the Batty.
Patty the Batty.
Hopefully that don't come back to bite me, but he's doing great right now, man. I've always liked even his Cage Warrior stuff. Like he's good.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Patty. I get why
It's
people
hard not to
dislike
like
him. You said what?
It's hard not to like him.
No, it's definitely hard not to like him because he's not very disrespectful, and even when he gets into it with somebody, it's because they're coming at him.
Oh yeah.
But he's not very arrogant outside of fighting, and when he's not competing, he's very he's a chill dude. So it's hard not to like him. Only reason you're not gonna like him is because he gains weight between fights, probably, and he has an English accent. That's probably it. There's nothing else why. But
yeah.
Now Patty Pimblett, he's 155. You see him beating Ilya?
I think he can get it done. Out of all those guys, now that's a little fan biasness, but
That's a possible fight that might happen in a year.
Whew.
It's possible, very possible.
You know, I'm gonna buy that pay-per-view.
No, I am too. And I don't want to hold you for too long, man. So we're gonna close it out right now. I want to ask you what's next. I obviously said September, but if you have any shout outs, anybody you want to give credit to, or anything you want to say, anything on your chest you want to say, right now is the time to do it. So, what's up?
So, I want to give a huge shout out to my teammates at Off the Chain.
Okay.
And my teammates at Hoka Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, just to name a few. If I don't name you, doesn't mean that you're not as important. Y'all are all none of this would be even a thought of happening if it wasn't for y'all. But the big ones are some of my main sparring partners, Professor Alex, Matt McAllister over at Hoka Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, And then my off the chain teammates, Isaac Alvarez, Bo Digby, Maddox Cooper, Brennan McKissick, like just to name a couple. Now there's so many people I could name, and there's a lot of moving parts, and I just wanted to say thank you to those guys. They know who they are, and I can't thank them enough. Now, big shout out to my favorite place to go eat after a weight cut, Rocky's Pizza. If you're ever in Hot Springs, go get you some Rocky's. It's the best pizza you can get. Probably go there tomorrow night since I don't have to weigh in a couple months. But man, just what's next is September for MMA. I mean, I'll probably do some jiu-jitsu tournaments here and there just to stay active. I like to stay active, stay competing. It all really depends on how my ribs heal and stuff like that. But just when the day comes, we'll know more. But right now, it's just sit back and relax and stay training. Don't like, yeah, I won a title, but it's
You
just
don't want
the
to get
beginning.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's just the beginning. Like, I mean, I'm 4 fights into probably 50, 60 fights. Like, I haven't even gotten to 25% yet. So, like, there's a lot of moving parts, and I'm thankful for it. Some things I want to get off my chest. Don't be a keyboard warrior. You know who you are. You know who you are. I ain't gonna name names, but you know who you are. But yeah, man, I want to give a big thank you to you, Mike, for bringing me on. I appreciate it, and that's all I got. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, br.bges, and TikTok as well. Just whatever's next, you'll find it there first. So
And I want to say that I appreciate you coming on the show. Me and Harrison, he's not here right now, but me and Harrison really appreciate fighters coming on the show. Like we really do, appreciate it, man. Like we love talking to you guys, and it really makes us happy. And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not no bullshit. Like we really do appreciate it. So we appreciate you taking your time today to come on the show, and I want to bring you back on when we have both the co-hosts, so we can have a good show. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
My co-host be saying some outlandish stuff. So
you really do. Yeah.
so we're gonna bring you back on no matter what. And me and my co-host are not on the type of time where we bring somebody on one time and it's like that's it. We use them as far as just as views. It's not like that. We're not like that.
Yeah.
We look forward to bringing you on again, and look forward to following your career as well. And yeah, man, we appreciate you. We couldn't do any of this without the fighters, so we really do truly appreciate you. And I'm gonna close it out right now. This is Draconian Combat, episode 70 with Bridges. I might pronounce your last name wrong.
Tomlinson.
Tomlinson.
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. All right, bro. Much love. Train hard, and I look forward to hearing from you again, man.
Yes, sir.
Later.
Later.